While all the global attention in recent weeks has been on the war in Ukraine and its relationship with the US, China has been making moves. Not only did it send 3 warships around Australia's coastline, it staged military drills off Vietnam and flew too close to a Philippine patrol plane.
You are flying too close. You are very dangerous and endangers the lives of our crew and passengers.
And last week, a Chinese-owned ship was accused of cutting an undersea communication cable in Taiwan. Is all of this a coincidence, mere theatre, or is something larger going on? Yesterday, the world's largest chip manufacturer in Taiwan announced plans to invest $100 billion in the US over the next 4 years, a tactical move to shore up American support in the event China makes a move on the island. And according to the Financial Times, China is right now building a massive military complex in western Beijing that the US believes will serve as a wartime command centre that's 10 times the size of the Pentagon. Helping us understand what all of this means is former DFAT Australia-China Council scholar Andrew Phelan, who joins us live now. Firstly, Andrew, good to see you. How tactical was this trade deal by Taiwan, and does it ensure American support?
It's very tactical, Peter. Good morning to you. It doesn't ensure or guarantee American support, but it's more likely to lead to American support. TSMC is not just a chip maker, it's a linchpin in a network of chip designers from the US, like Apple, Nvidia, Intel, Japan and Korea, Sony, Samsung, SK Hynix, and also ASML, the Dutch company that makes the big lithography machines that sell for about $200 million a piece. And these networks are built on trust and they're very established. So it's critical to protect that supply chain because, as we know, chips are in every electronic device. And if there was a shortage or supply was interrupted, it would lead to chaos globally.
Yeah, sure would. So Andrew, what is China doing by intimidating not just us, but Vietnam and the Philippines?
Yeah, they've made it pretty clear that they're trying to prosecute their version of a Monroe Doctrine, which is to say this part of the world, this hemisphere, the South China Sea and so on, is our lake. Outsiders keep out. And they've now got the capacity more and more to enforce that. What we should really be looking at, though, is the Taiwan Strait. And as Admiral Paparo has said, the mainland is rehearsing an invasion. The number of cross-strait incursions has increased dramatically. The cutting of cables is, an attempt to isolate Taiwan in terms of its communications. And as you mentioned in the introduction, China's got plans for this enormous military operations headquarters outside of Beijing with reinforced bunkers for nuclear protection. It's also got plans in place for a new embassy in London on the side of the old Royal Mint that's 10 times the size of the current embassy.
Right. Okay. So, as we talk about what's going on in Ukraine, how much of that and Putin actually has to do with China?
I think it's all to do with China. If you look at the new administration, the likes of Waltz, Rubio, Vance, Elbridge Colby, who I've been trading notes with the last few years, they're all about China. And I think the concern is that they can't prosecute 2 major conflicts or be too bedded down in an unending war in Europe when they've got to face China, its peer rival in the Indo-Pacific, which is 60% of the world's GDP. And so America's got a huge challenge at the moment. The new Navy Secretary, John Phelan, no relation, was sworn in the other day. And America now makes 1% of the world's new ship tonnage. China makes 50% of the world's new ship tonnage. By 2030, which is a real concern for Australia, they'll have the PLA Navy will have a fleet of 450 vessels. The merchant marine, the US has about 80 ocean-going vessels. China has 5,500. So, it's game on. That's why we're talking about the Panama Canal and all these other maritime issues.